Hello and welcome to this very short tutorial in which I'm going to show you how to make a good looking X crossover on your tracks. So this is a per request video and yeah, I'll be showing you how to make a quick X crossover. I'm gonna be using this SAM track as for my testing purposes, and let's get into it. So obviously you have several tracks. Let's just place them down. Let's place 3 for example. Align them nicely. Doesn't matter about the spacing in between, but the closer they are, the harder it will be for you to actually do anything with them. Now, the distance between which you want them to basically be. I have 180 meters, but you maybe have like, I don't know, 100 meters, a shorter distance. But the principle is the same. The track that you want to cross over and the best angle that is for this, also dependent on speed and stuff like that. You can really just calculate it or just basically see. Okay, for example, I have the 180 meters here, but I want only a 100 meter crossover, for example. So I'm gonna mark out the 100 meters, and the way I do it is I'm starting to place a new track 5 meters from the center of the other track. This is a little grid. Yellows are marking 10 meters, blacks are marking 5 meters. Now this line where I started is 5 meters from the other center, from the center of the other track. Now you want it to cross over to this other track. Now you might be wondering how am I going to tell it's 5 meters? Well, you can either use the ruler, sorry about that, and measure out those 5 meters, or if you've got a good eye, you can align the vertex, the rotating part, with the ties like this. So the middle of the rotating vertex, you can see it kind of clips the end of the ties of that track. Now obviously this will differ from track to track depending on the width of the ties and stuff like that, but generally majority of tracks are pretty much the exact same, so it should be all good. Right, so now we want to cross from this track to this track and vice versa. A little X crossover. Now there's 2 ways you can do this. The first one, actually hold on. No. One very important bit that I always tend to forget about is that you want to straighten these tracks first. So what you do is connect them up together, like this. Press P on your keyboard and straighten them out. Just like that. And keep these little helping tracks in there, because they will be useful once you start putting in those junctions and the more vertex points for the junctions. You need to know which end of the track is now straightened and which one isn't. Otherwise, you're gonna get wonky design. It will not be beautifully straight. It will be a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, as you just, because it will not be straightened, and you'll just go, have problems with this, with the general alignment at that point. Right. So there's 2 ways to make a crossover junction like this. Now open the advanced menu on your tracks tab and press I or click the insert spline point. Now where you want to click is the first tie after the rails cross, basically. Something like that. So I missed it a little bit. Don't be afraid to get in a new point when you miss the first one. Alright, so you can see that these tracks are straightened, which means the ones over here are not. So, and I'm going to prove it with this. Easy to tell. If these guys stay straight after you put in the vertex points in them, then it means that these guys are not straight. So now we straighten them up, again pressing B and clicking on the tracks. You can see now they're straight again. So, and once again on this side, you see that it's kind of hard to pretty much say now where exactly would you put it. I said the first tie from the point rails meet, but you want those points, those vertex points that you're putting in for the junctions to be aligned. So you need to get like the idea of how far you want to get it. And let's just say that I can see just a little tiny gap. Actually, hold on, can I like zoom in on this more? There's a tiny gap between the two ties over here. And I'm going to use that little tiny gap as my middle point between them to align the vertex points. So I'm going to put one here. Oh, the vertex again put it. Jesus. Oh, okay. No, that's way too far. Okay, that's gonna be better. And here. No, that's way too far. Way too far again. Way too far again. It's the same, but okay. How much? Yeah. Okay. It's gonna be good. I mean, they don't need to be precisely aligned, but if you wanna play around with it. But so now we have two more points in here. Generally, straightening the ones here in the middle is not needed, but I'm gonna do it as well. We already know which way is not gonna be straightened. We can tell, oh hey, these guys are straightened. These guys obviously will not, so just straighten up the crossover in the middle. Now you just put in the other tracks. Now this way you do it if you want to have procedural junctions. You can see it fails generation over on this one because it's a little bit too close. I would move it. Actually, hold on, I could move it. I'm gonna do that. Remove this point, do that, put a new point, and do this. It's still failing generation because I cannot get the alignment here correctly, but this is how you would generally do it for if you want procedural junctions. You can see it works 3 out of 4 times, pretty much. But you will also notice that it's not exactly pretty, is it? Well, there are several ways you can go about this. I'm gonna actually keep this one in. Oh, did it not fail? Oh wait, hold on. It removed that check by accident. Alright, and there's the other way you can do this. This will generally not do any kind of procedural track generation because of the position of the junctions, but it's better to have this tighter option without procedural so that you can get a bit more realism into it. So where we're gonna be putting them is the first tie from the place the rails meet on the other side, so to the inside. You can see this guy need to be straightened and this guy needs to be straightened. And once again on this side, roughly the same, just about that. Straighten that and straighten that. Now you put these in. And you see, obviously they're not going to be procedurally generated because the junctions cannot be generated when they are like this, inside each other. That's okay. No biggie, no worries. Because now you can go for the more realistic part that you would like to have. And what I recommend doing for stuff like this so that you just don't have the rails merging in through each other like that. Go to the trackside mode or press Y on your keyboard to open. Now search up crossing check rail. There should be 3 versions, 12, 24 and 32. On my screen you can see only 12 and 32. I'm gonna actually place them here. That's a 32, that's a 12. And that is because the 24 one is part of a paver content. So, and I have paver content filtered out right now, so you won't be seeing that. But you can use the 24 one if you so desire. Now, 12 obviously the shortest, 32 the longest. I'm gonna use the 32 one and only place them on the middle tracks. And I want to align them roughly in the middle. Just like that. Now, once you get to the middle, where the tracks meet, you need to be very careful with your placing, with your mouse movements. You need to be very sensitive, because they like to fly around. But once you get the hang of it, you can get this kind of design. Now I'm gonna also take the 12 one and put it on the tracks that merge out at the points, just to get that black line in there, like that, and one more, like that. Now you can see that I was spawning them up here and then just moving them into position. It's generally easier to do it like that, but yeah, also don't place them on top of each other like this when for the turning ones, because you can see how there's this little gash going in them. You can see how it's kind of cut out basically. So that's why you only place them at the place where they actually turn off, where the junction is, pretty much. So yeah, simple as that. Now there's also another option that I honestly haven't really experimented with myself, and that's by placing the vertex points all the way before the ties even meet. Now, which tracks are not straightened? This one and this one, okay. But it is something that I myself don't use, simply for the reasons I already stated before. But like this, it would allow you to create procedural for basically both of them, but without having any troubles of not properly generating junctions. And this is a very wide variant, and obviously the further out you go with them, the faster you can have your trains travel to them. But at a certain point, it might as well just be considered a normal junction rather than an X junction, because you could possibly end up with something like this. I'm gonna put two tracks further apart from each other so that you can see. Once again, same principle of spacing out the crossover track. And I'm gonna put them out here. Obviously, this is gonna be for kind of the higher speeds. Now you might be wondering, how would I copy this to the other side when there's, yeah, I just randomly plop them down, right? Let me just disable one thing, because I forgot I have it. So you can see the points here. Oh, so now you just take ruler from the point, and you see what 23 point what 24 meters, let's say, put it like that. So we're gonna measure out 24 meters out this way. Yep, that's about it. We don't need to be exactly precise. 20 centimeters up and down is nothing. So yeah, which tracks are gonna be? That track needs to be straightened. Alright. Now I'm guessing you can also tell if the track is straightened by the junctions. If they don't align like this, they just jump, it's not. Oh, now it is straightened. What about you? You're not straightened. Now you are straightened. Okay. What about you? Not straightened. Now you are straightened. What about you? Now you are. So you just put them in, and yeah, you have a higher speed crossover. And obviously the further out you go, the more of a normal junctions they become. But yeah, you can also you can see that, oh, this is a quite nicer looking crossover, right? You don't get like the mess that is visible here with just, ugh, you know, just tracks crossing everything and all the accessories and stuff. Here you have it nicely separated. So what you can do is use the 12 check rail, put it in there like that, and in here like that. Align them roughly to the middle where they cross, and yeah, this is the nicest looking procedural X crossover that you can get. And this right here is the nicest looking non-procedural crossover you can get. Obviously, if you don't want to place these check rails down, if you don't want to place these check rails down, then you can just keep it like this. It's up to you. And yeah, now how to link them? Now obviously yeah, having crossover is nice, but you also want them to kind of like function normally so that you cannot just get like trains crossing through each other on here. Let's say like this, you know, just going straight across. So I'm going straight up that way, while the other one goes straight down this way, you know. So how to prevent that? You need to control the signals somewhat. Some people would say ABS, I say junction link. What junction link? Go into your track side mode and type in DKV lantern and select the 52 one. There is also another one, 72 I believe, but that one is paver, so I don't have it shown here. And put the DKV lantern over here on the track that is turning. Not this one that's going straight, not that one. One of the two tracks that are turning. It's up to you which one. You just have to change the way you're going to set them up. Now I have it on this side. I'm gonna align it kind of to the middle like that. I have it on this side, so I'm gonna go into top-down view and I'm gonna click the edit properties or press P on your keyboard and then click on the lantern. Now this is for European stuff. If you want American, I don't think there's anything like this and you would have to do something else. Most probably an invisible junction link object. And I'm going to show that as well, just so that you guys get an idea. So yeah, you can see that the icon lantern on the window that just opened is in the bottom middle. Exactly where my lantern is on the junctions as well. As such, I can now easily know which junction is supposed to be where. So let's configure them. Over here, junction 78 is the top left. So I'm gonna add that in. Down below it is 74. On the other side, on top is 82. And on the bottom is 80. You have 4 junctions in, confirm. Now you can see they switched automatically to their state. Now let's see what they do. They switch together. Switch 1, switch 2. This way, there's always 2 junctions facing opposite each other and 2 junctions facing towards each other. This means that signals will now basically detect it and tell you, oh, you cannot go this way because the track ends because of the junction. Or you cannot go this way because the track ends because of the junction, you know? But you can go straight through because the junctions are aligned. So yeah, that's how you set that up. Now, if you were to use something like a junction link, let's get rid of the lantern and let's switch the junctions like that. So there's 2 paths possible now for our signals to show. So in your objects, I'm not even sure if it's a DLS object, hold on. Junction link, okay, it's not DLS object, so I have to, okay. This little thingy. It's part of paper content, but you will most likely, well, not most likely, but 110% you will find a version of this that exists on the DLS as well. It's probably with the same name. Right, you can see that it can only do 2 junctions, so how are you going to do this? So we're gonna configure those 2 junctions, and then we're gonna link them to the central thing. It's kind of a longer process, but yeah. I don't know, maybe JR or NARM have an asset that is capable of doing something like this, but yeah. Right, so let's see here. Junction 82, let's put that in, and junction 80, let's put that in. Now, whether we want symmetric or not, let's see here. Yeah, we want to keep them symmetrical. So in the setting here that you can see, symmetric, both junctions are switched identical, either both to the left or both to the right. And then there's asymmetric, which is opposite. So Next up that we configure is this one. Once again, you have edit properties, so that's how we do them. So let's put in 78 and let's put in 74, just like that. Symmetric, let's switch them around so that you can see whether they're correct. They are correctly set. And now you just connect two junctions through the middle. Let's see here, just say junction 78 and the other one is junction 80. So that we're gonna have a straight two path and we're gonna set them to asymmetric. Now if you were to select pretty much any, I would guess we would go with asymmetric, but yeah, it really depends with how the configuration is. So let's see here, if we switch this, yeah, there we go, nice. But you can see we don't get pretty much a lot of paths now, do we? We cannot exactly go straight through. So that's the kind of problem with junctioning, and this is what I wanted to show as well, that you cannot actually put this one in the middle. It will not work. Because if you put it to asymmetric, you can only get the turn-offs, and if you put it to symmetric, you will only be able to go through. So you have to keep two like this and just work them with that. So yeah, that's everything. Thank you for watching, and I hope it was useful.